some merchants make your dreams come true. Riviera, Maya, paradise found. Hard Rock Hotel where the good times sound. Forget those spreadsheets, ditch those sales calls. This ain't no work trip, this is rock and roll. Hey, this sales bro got a story to tell. Sun, sand, and surf a reward for doing well. Cluster systems calling, got a challenge for you. Refer some merchants, make your dreams come true. Riviera, Maya, paradise found. Hard Rock Hotel where the good times sound. Forget those spreadsheets, ditch those sales calls. This ain't no work trip, this is rock and roll. With the band playing loud, let's toast to the night. Under starlit skies, everything's alright. Here's to the moments that make us whole. This ain't just a trip, it's good for the soul. With the band playing loud, let's toast to the night. Under starlit skies, everything's alright. Here's to the moments that make us whole. This ain't just a trip, it's good for the soul.
Hey there, sales pro, got a story to tell of sun, sand, and surf, a reward for doing well. Cluster systems calling, got a challenge for you. Refer some merchants, make your dreams come true. Riviera, Maya, paradise found. Hard Rock Hotel where the good times sound. Forget those spreadsheets, ditch those sales calls. This ain't no work trip, this is rock. They just
Sales pro got a story to tell of sun, sand, and surf, a reward for doing well. Cluster systems calling, got a challenge for you. Refer some merchants, make your dreams come true. Riviera, Maya, paradise found. Hard Rock Hotel where the good times sound. Forget those spreadsheets, ditch those sales calls. This ain't no work trip, this is rock and roll. Gather round, sales champs, it's your time to shine. Pack your shades, we're crossing the line. In the boardroom, you conquered the grind. Now it's palm trees and beach vibes, a new state of mind. Riviera, Maya, paradise found. Hard Rock Hotel where the good times sound. Forget those spreadsheets, ditch those sales calls. This ain't no work trip, this is rock and roll.
Brilliant.
Sales pro got a story to tell of sun, sand, and surf, a reward for doing well. Cluster systems calling, got a challenge for you. Refer some merchants, make your dreams come true. Riviera, Maya, paradise found. Hard Rock Hotel where the good times sound. Forget those spreadsheets, ditch those sales calls. This ain't no work trip, this is rock and roll. Hey, this sales pro got a story to tell of sun, sand, and surf, a reward for doing well. Cluster systems calling, got a challenge for you. Refer some merchants, make your dreams come true.
All right, everybody. My name's Nate Manahan. I'm here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We've been listening to a little bit of live music brought to you by Udio, which is an AI software that I just thought we'd have some fun with. And I was enjoying that I was watching the four people we're going to have on the screen here learn and meet the first music of this. We welcome you to the launch of Let's Get to Mexico Together with Cluster. I'm Nate Manahan. On the right-hand side of the screen there is Danny Shard. Underneath him is Stacy Carrillo. Underneath me is Matt Proctor. I'm going to turn the music off in my ears. Like, it's too much for me, but I just want to hear, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the music there? Pretty fun right there, right?
Unbelievable. I
That was
even
next level.
All right.
The volume, buddy, was just it was going a little crazy there.
Well, I was trying to
fun,
get better.
though.
I was using, it was the first time.
turn it up. Hey, it wasn't loud enough. It can never be loud enough.
Yep.
You need to take a nap. You need to take a nap, Matt Proctor. We got this.
Hi, Pearl Jam. I hear you over there. I got you.
All right. So Peg Murphy asked, why are we starting so late? That's because, hey, sometimes we were a little slow all getting in, and I had our music to play. But now we are ready to go, and we are today going to be talking about how you can earn a free vacation next February in Mexico. And this is because of Cluster and Stacy Carrillo, who's the VP of sales here in North America or in United States. I forget what your title is officially. Stacy's the head, the big guy here in the United States for Cluster. Stacy, tell us, why would we all want to end up in Mexico in February in Mexico? Why should we do that?
I mean, Mexico in February, is there anything that needs to be said outside of that? Obviously, when you've been to the Caribbean and you've been to the Riviera Maya area or even Cancun, it's paradise. The weather's ideal that time of year. And we felt that this partnership with PayProTec has grown to the point where it's really time to wrap our arms around everybody and have some fellowship. Just get away, enjoy some time. I don't know about you, but it's very hard for me to set time aside for myself. I work hard. I know everybody else works hard. I've walked in the shoes of knocking on doors, working with merchants through the years, and just setting that time aside to get away and do it for myself. Not to mention just the pride that comes along with achieving the bar and setting yourself apart, the company that you're in when you achieve the level, the requirements that we have for this, which we actually, I think you'll find is pretty low. But just getting there and just feeling like you've done something and you've done it for yourself and for your significant other, if you choose to bring them along. Really, it's something we want to do for you. We want to do together. We want to break bread, just to have a good time. Not really talk about work, to be honest with you. Just we'll have some nuggets too that you'll love to learn. A peek behind the curtain as we get into 2025, and by that point in time, we'll have been in the U.S. for around 2 years at that point. So just so many reasons, Nate, to put this together. And we thank PayProTec so much for being our partner in this.
Well, Danny Shar, I'm going to bring you up on the screen and ask you this question. You were just in Mexico on a vacation anniversary, or birthday trip. Sorry, not anniversary, birthday trip for your wife, if I remember right, just a couple of weeks ago. You had the opportunity to swing by the Hard Rock Resort. You were there in, beginning of summer. What's it like to go there in February? For those of us who live in the northern climates, it's going to be 6 feet of snow and 22 degrees and gray. How exciting will it be to be in February to earn a trip to be able to go out and hang out at the Hard Rock Resort there in Mexico?
Yeah, it's the same in Colorado that time of year, so I completely feel the pain. And it was beautiful in May. In fact, they said it was the hottest that it's been in any May that they could remember. So it was pretty scorching. But February, I mean, you're talking perfect. And like you said, just nothing like an excuse to get out of the cold weather if that's the climate you're in. But I got to echo Stacy on this. The camaraderie that we're going to have at this event and being around like-minded folks that have achieved, to be at this event is something that's going to be admired by all of us. So I'm excited to spend time with you. Hopefully I've got to earn my spot too. So I'm going to be working with all of you to do that. But I'm really excited we're doing this. And, in sales in the past, and Stacy, you've been a part of this and as long as you've been in business, which I don't want to age you, but president's clubs and diamond ring events and things like that you'd always qualify for achieving just a significant amount of sales. And it's always been challenging for us to be able to do that with how we're structured. And, whenever Cluster and Stacy really kind of approached us with this is our president's club, right? This is something that we're we're pumped about. We're pumped to be partnered with Cluster to be able to do this. And we want our partners to really take advantage of it so we can see as many of you as possible. And I can buy you a shot of tequila whenever we're there.
Oh, there's tequila in Mexico? I didn't know that.
Let's qualify, but the tequila's included.
It's all inclusive.
Don't let Danny fool you, okay? Yeah.
There we go. Then, one of the things, somehow I lost, I don't know. Sometimes the software is working. We didn't get everybody literally in at like 12:02. So I'm getting everybody on the screen. So let's start with this, Stacy. The minimum it takes, and I'm going to bring up that's going to soon be on mypapertech.com, the qualification levels, but the minimum work it takes to be able to earn. That's why I like that word. Earn your free vacation to Mexico. Can you kind of walk us through that? I'll bring that up on the screen here. And you can kind of, Stacy, tell us about the beginning all access minimum to be able to jump in at the qualification levels.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mentioned you have the opportunity to really do yourself some pride by entering this group of individuals when you achieve this. But really, it starts at pretty modest entry point. We call it our all access. So you simply need to do 8 fully completed cluster system installations by the end of November. So the qualification period technically starts July 1st, but by all means, if you jump to it early here in the waning days of June, we absolutely are not going to dismiss that. But by November 30th, 8 fully completed cluster systems, which by my math is just a little bit over 1 a month, which all of you on here, I'm quite certain if you've taken the time to understand what's going on, that it should be pretty simple. Well, we'll certainly answer questions about where Cluster fits and all that, but Cluster has a very wide range of restaurants, cafes, and all the like that you have the ability to anchor your merchant processing to. So the requirements are extremely modest. That is our all access, and again, everything will be posted on the website, Nate. There are a couple different tiers. But 8 is all access. That gets you in and part of this pretty elite group to join us. We reserved what we believe are the right number of rooms. If we go over that, then that's we'll solve that problem later. And I kind of think we will based on some of the reception here. So it's really exciting. Yep. So again, minimum 8 fully completed cluster system installations. So get into that Rolodex, look at all the opportunities and prospects you've had in terms of what incentives there are to board them on PayProTec. Obviously, Nate, Danny, and Matt and company can talk about, but really from our perspective, that's it. 8. That's a little over 1 a month when you look at the number of months here.
I love it. So, and basically, I'll keep that. And thank you, Hunter Kincaid, for taking me that I kept the screen on Danny because I was in a preview mode, not my live mode. So now you see it. 8 to get you in the door. Well, where Clusters and PayProTec are going to take care of the resort stay. If you do 10, we'll reimburse you for the airfare. And if you do 14, let's bring a guest. Obviously, all this you can pay to bring your own guests and things like that. I'm sure there's going to be questions. You can put questions in the chat. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I want to go over to Mr. Matt Proctor. Matt, 8 deals. 8 restaurant deals on Cluster. Talk about what you need to be doing right now to be able to make that happen. July, August, September, October, November, whole month of November. You got about 5 months. You're looking at like I'm not a mathematician. 1.3 deals a month or something.
Like yeah.
So you got to do a little more than 1 a month. You've got to get to that 8. If you want to get to that 14, you're looking at like got to go 2.2, 2.3. I should have done my real math here. But Matt, tell me how this works. What would you be doing right now to start looking for restaurants that are the right fit for Cluster and getting those leads into poslead.com? Matt Proctor, tell us about what you'd be doing to do that.
See, and I love how you bring me on third. I already got Stacy and Danny saying all this great stuff about camaraderie. And just so you guys know, I've been in that position before where I've had to earn my spot. And be able to go to certain events, and they hit the nail on the head. This is a big deal, guys. To be able to be in that elite club and to be able to go to these events. I mean, I was always very proud of myself when I earned my spot to go to these certain events and mingle with different people and bounce ideas off of them about what they did, how they got to that point, and where they got their market share. And that's where this is really key. But it's not hard, guys. It's not hard at all. I used to hit the ground running just like you did. And you know what I would target right now? And this is the easiest thing to target. And this is just me personally. I would target any square, any clover, any shopkeep, anywhere. If I see an iPad, I see them in there slinging at the QSR, the cash register. I see they're not happy or they're frustrated, or I see a whole bunch of little side tablets for the DoorDash or whatever. I would be on them just right away, talking to them about getting them into a better system, getting into an all-in-one system with a phenomenal CRM to be able to get them that strong support, that good support they're not getting with Clover and they're not getting with Square. Walking into those places that you might have avoided before because you were just there for a cup of coffee and you thought, oh, you know what? It's a well-oiled machine. They're doing just fine. You really don't know that. You don't know that until you actually talk to the general manager. So you find out who that owner is and how you can get in touch with that right person. There are so many out there that I still think that our partners are just not scratching the surface. You know, you might be going after these big full service restaurants. Those are great too. We absolutely can accommodate those at Cluster. But there are a lot of smaller ones that I know we can compete with and just dominate in the QSR environment, in the drive-throughs. We're selling so many more drive-throughs now. You'd be shocked. So that's what I would attack. And the good thing, guys, you only need 8. Okay, I think 14 is very attainable, but you only need 8. That is a very doable goal. A lot of you are already submitting 5 to 7 POS deals a month. So just imagine that 5 to 7 that you're dealing already at the month of my team. If you have at least 3 to 4 of them cluster, all right, that's simple. We can close 2 of them. We can close 3 of them every single month. You should hit 8 by the time we get to August. Then you're focusing on, do I want to bring a significant other? That's up to you guys if you want to do that or not. You know, for me, heck, I might bring, someone from my team if I qualify. I got to make sure that our team is selling a bunch. But I don't think it's hard, guys. Once you get 1 or 2, they all know each other. I would target ice cream shops, frozen yogurt shops, bagels, coffee. There's so many of them on every single corner. Boba tea, you name it, they're on every corner. And every one of them should have cluster. So
and let me tell you, a part of this, thank you, Matt, this is a numbers game. And so you start out by creating a list of 50 restaurants that you want to target over the next month and start building those relationships, start integrating this message and opportunity to start getting that. And so you got to find the quick service restaurants. Maybe it's the full service restaurants. Maybe it's the QR code ordering. Find something that you sell really, really well when you walk in. Maybe it's the drive-through. I'm big on the QR code ordering. This was full service yesterday, but we were at Matt Proctor and I went to lunch here in Indianapolis just yesterday. And at the end of the lunch, I paid. They had a giant Aloha system that my guess is they spent $120,000 on, and Cluster could have done everything that they were doing in there. And they had a QR code that would be able to scan and pay. You can order there. We didn't order. We ended up just paying with the QR code. But find a feature Cluster and go and learn, and be able to present that to 50 restaurants in the next month, and then start getting those into demos and working in that. And so we're going to talk through the process a little bit on that. So let me first take you over. What is the first thing you do? If you're working with PayProTec and you're working with Cluster, what do you do when you have a restaurant that you're ready to jump in? Well, you go over here to, let me flip over here. Let's see if it loads correctly here. It wasn't, let's go to that's always a good thing when it doesn't load. Go to mypayprotec.com, you click on POS lead, and it takes you right over to submit a POS lead. Now, earlier we were telling you to go to clusterlead.com. We've been rolling this out. We rolled it out February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. And we started, all Cluster deals were going through their own system. Now, all of our POS leads can go through there. And when you choose restaurant, it's going to consider Cluster with your POS Pro specialist, consider Cluster first, and see if Cluster is a good fit for that restaurant. There are a few things that it will not, there'll be times that Cluster is not the right fit. These are Cluster deals, but every restaurant's going to look at Cluster first. You fill out the information, you hit submit, and your POS Pro specialist is going to help you set up a demo, guide you through the process, the sales process. And we're really excited that we're seeing more and more of these demos happening every day. And we want to see you setting up these demos, going over to POSlead.com, putting in those, and we want to see that increase. If we want to see 14 deals, and so I like what Matt said, I'm not messing with the 8. I'm going after the 14. And even if I'm going to eat twice the amount of food because I'm not bringing an extra person. One, I'm going to have the residual. Then I'm going to, on top of that, I'm going to have the bonuses. I know one of the questions, I already had somebody just text me. You can put your questions into the YouTube chat right here, and we're going to bring them up at the end. Somebody already asked me, are we going to continue to do the $1,000 bonus, extra bonus that we've been doing? I don't know how long we're going to. Can't guarantee that. Here's what I'm guaranteeing. For the month of July, yes. I don't know how much longer. I was saying to Danny earlier today, eventually that bonus is going to go away, but it's still there. So not only are you putting the time and the energy in to be able to get the vacation of a lifetime in February and hanging out with some of the best sales professionals in the world, and it's nothing like better than hanging out with Cluster and PayProTec. But at the end, you're also going to be able to getting an extra $1,000 bonus for each deal you're putting in. You're getting the residual. Let's make this the best last 6 months of the year that you've ever had as we start the second half of the year. And you just start that by building those relationships, finding those restaurants, connecting them to POSlead.com, and you're going to see some great efforts and the effects of that. Matt, what are you seeing from your team? What's the most important thing they do when they put that lead in at POSlead.com? How much relationship and work do they need to do? What's important to making sure that they're ready to put the lead into POSlead.com to make sure that the partnership between the POS pros and our PayProTec partner are working together?
Yeah, it's actually been a smooth transition, Nate. I mean, ever since we switched over everything from POS Lead to go into the exact same, portal, it's been a smooth transition because right away, my team is talking to the agent. You guys know that. They're reaching out to you right away. We're finding out a cluster is going to be that perfect fit. All right. And worst case, we're going to sell it for you no matter what. So let's say that's a random one-off that cluster's working on and they don't have it fine-tuned yet. That's okay. Let's sell them a different system. Let's get them signed up anyway. But then the very next one, cluster absolutely would be that perfect fit for. So every single time it's going right into our pipeline and right into not only our cluster pipeline, our POS Pros pipeline. Okay, they're one in each, right there next to each other. And so our team is actively working with you to make sure cluster is going to be the perfect fit. We talk about time frame. We talk about everything that's going to be needed, menu reviews, menu build, implementation, and it really help do that whole process, ordering the VARs, the terminals, things like that. Less for you guys to have to worry about. You just worry about getting us that soft lead. You get that soft lead. We have an entire team here to help sell the cluster for you. We've got phenomenal cluster demo specialists. We got Elizabeth now who's on board. She's done a phenomenal job. I've already heard great things about Elizabeth from my team. She has experience. She's done plenty of demos before. I'm looking forward to meeting with her. And so, yeah, it's a smooth transition, guys. That's the whole goal, is to make this easy for you.
Can I jump in just for a second here? Just
go ahead, Stacey.
Something noteworthy.
By the way, Stacey, like you're in the witness protection program, and I like that the light is shining on the Pearl Jam Metallica poster.
Metallica and Pearl Jam.
I like that.
It's all about the rock and roll, fellas. It's all about the rock and roll. There's a reason why we picked the hard rock. So many reasons why. Just a point on Elizabeth. So Elizabeth Gomez comes from the merchant services and point of sale space. So she has a firm grip on both. She has especially come to know Clover. So for those of you that are working on moving customers over from Clover, which happens quite significantly on that transition to Cluster, Elizabeth has some valuable knowledge about where Clover has its limitations and where it has its strengths. So you will find her particularly valuable in these conversations. Again, start with the POS pros, and then when the time comes, they'll get it over to Elizabeth, and then she'll make sure that she gets the proper information between you and the merchant on a demo. At some point, I just want to touch on the agenda too. I think that's really exciting about the stuff that we're going to do. Is it too soon for that, Nate, or can I just touch on that?
Jump in.
Yeah, so we really have a mix here. So ultimately, this is a vacation for you. We want to reward you, but we also want to take the time, as you've heard Matt and Nate and Danny mention, of just share the fellowship and camaraderie. There's really such a value to being around those who do the same things that you do and learning from one another, and not feeling that you're stepping on each other's toes. That never happens realistically. It's just very rare. You're going to learn things to how to get better from the best practices that your cohorts are doing in their space. Not to mention, you're going to have more just by speaking with cluster reps, just more inside knowledge about the ins and outs of cluster and how that's going to even get you better. And by this point in time, we'll also be able to give you a sneak peek on what we have cooking for version 2 of our product, which is very exciting. Version 1, our flagship, is here for the very long future, but we're baking something that's going to be the latest and greatest technology for our long-term future. So by that point in time, you have a sneak peek of that. So just a quick run through of the agenda. You'll get there on Saturday. Do whatever you want to do. You can come on Friday if you want. If you certainly want to spend an extra day on your own, you're absolutely welcome to do that. You can contact the Hard Rock for that. But come Saturday evening, we're going to get together. We're going to have a welcome reception, 7:00. So we'll have a little space outside. Have ourselves some tequila that Danny is going to pay for, and then after that, we'll have some free time. And then on Sunday, run around the resort, go swimming, do whatever you want to do. We'll have a group dinner later on Sunday evening, and we'll give that little sneak peek and glimpse into what we have going on for the long-term future. After that, on Sunday, you'll have more free time. Who knows where the night will take you? I'll just tell you, Mexican prisons, I hear, are no fun, and I'm just telling you verbally, I've heard that. So be careful. And then on Monday,
I don't even know what to say. All right.
and then on Monday, we're going to do something fun together as a group. There are multiple things that we can put together. I've been to the jungle and went ziplining in that area in Cancun. We've went to the ruins. There's so many different things that we can do as a group that has not been determined yet. But that's where your feedback's going to help. So we will be asking those who are on track what they'd like to do as an excursion. We're going to do it all together. We'll have more free time. We'll do a group dinner, and then on Tuesday, everybody will get back to their lives, and we'll hopefully be doing it again in 2026. So just a little sneak peek, and again, all this will be posted on myPayProTec.com at some point.
It is. And in fact, it is already on myPayProTec.com. So if you go over to, a couple things, just about finding general things on myPayProTec.com, right? You'll see here the incentive trip right here, how to earn a free Mexico vacation. That's the download directly to what I was just had up a second ago, as well as the best way, I always think, go over to POS, click on the cluster POS. It's the top one over there, and find all the cluster material that's already been created. So here's the incentive trip, but then we have all the sell sheets, and I think a great experience for you to learning some more about clusters. Spend some time in those office hours. We have another one coming up here in a couple of weeks. We're going to try to do these at least once a month, sometimes more if we have the content and the people, the presenters to be able to do it. But we're presenting different features and different demos and sections about office or about cluster. And we call it the cluster office hours, and our office hours brand, where we're trying to bring you things that you can quickly apply to what you're doing. And I think this is going to be really, really good. Danny, I'm going to come over to you. If you want to, I have a question for you, because I think we've obviously mentioned your name with tequila a couple times, but I think one of the things is we're at SCAA, we're going to be at MWA. Make sure you go to sign up, and I think it's is that even? I just realized I don't think it's on our homepage here. Is it? Not. It isn't. But if you've not seen the emails, we've sent them out now. It came out, the emails announcing the last 2 days. We have a few tickets left for our Cubs game on July 23rd, where we're taking over the left field porch out there with a lot of PayProTec partners. Would love to have you there as the day before MWA starts. But Danny, we've talked about and alluded to a little bit, but it's just, I think this is going to be even a more special trip, because it's been a while since we've done a trip where we only allow people who have hit certain levels. Usually the Cubs game, let's be honest, we sent the first people that we sent it out to have sold a lot of deals, but there may be some people there just starting out there. But the people that are going to be, what's it like to be able to spend time with those who are extremely effective, and why would you want to be there in the room where it happens, Danny, there in Mexico?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. Every event that we've done in the past, in the past. And I mean, even the regional events that we do at each show isn't necessarily an event that has to be earned, right? If you're in the area, we'd love to see you. And that's something that we're always going to do and continue to do. But this one's special, right? With what Stacy and the cluster team are really putting together to reward our partners is something unique, right? And being in the same room with people that have hit the same numbers, that are on the same grind that you are every day, week in, week out, to get these merchants set up, the same folks that have probably had the same successes, the same failures, the same headaches, all of it, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to be in the same room with them, and you're going to be able to really build some camaraderie with those individuals that are like-minded and doing the same thing you are every single day. And I think it's really important to have relationships outside of even with us here at PayProTec and with the team at Cluster and with Matt Proctor's team at POS Pros. I mean, all of us are here for your success. But being able to make friends and really make contacts with people around the industry, with other partners that are in the same shoes as you are, it's unique, and it's something that you don't want to miss out on. So you want to be in that group. You want to be able to bounce ideas off these people and learn and listen and maybe even teach them something too. So I love this idea. And again, most of what we've always done has been just show up. We'd love to see we'd love to, take you to an event, have a drink, have a meal, maybe learn something about some of our new solutions and things like that. But we've always been big on camaraderie, and this is just taking it up a notch. So it's really cool.
All right. So we're going to be answering questions. Let me click the button that brings us all on here, I think. Yeah. So, but we'll answer a couple of questions. If you have them, jump them in. I've been watching over here in the chat. A few of them. Let me jump. I'll add this, and it was answered in chat. I love it when another partner. Justin, thank you for answering Robert in there, but I'll let Stacy answer this question. What about food trucks? The cellular ability is built in, or how does it connect? Stacy, what about food trucks and the ability to do cellular connection? What would you say for Cluster?
Yeah, the beauty is that we do not need internet to run our system, self-contained. Now, you will need, obviously, to get your credit card transaction out. So the A920 Pro does have the 5G capability, so you can operate your system completely contained in the food truck. Now, we do have a cloud component, so all the reporting and menu maintenance. So at some point, you will need to get a connection out, whether it's a hotspot or whatever, when you want to grab your reports. You get your reports on the system locally with no internet, or if you're an owner and you want to get your reports from home, on the beach, wherever it is, you can also log in through our cloud component. So food trucks make perfect sense. The obstacle you have is a kitchen printer. Kitchen printers do not typically operate off of any kind of Bluetooth or whatnot. If a food truck needs a kitchen printer, there are ways around that. We can discuss that with you on a one-on-one basis. But most food trucks are so small where that chip can come right off that thermal receipt.
Yeah, we can do a rollover router or a data plan router. That way you can hardwire a kitchen printer if needed, Robert.
If needed, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Lots of ways to do that. All right, let's jump into another question. I'll answer this one, and then John says, do the deals have to be edge pricing? Now, here's the beauty of this. For placements, they always have to be edge pricing because that's how we create the margin. So we, PayProTec, can jump in and be able to pay for the hardware in order to make this profitable for everyone, because we're all wanting to make money. And this is the beauty of this industry. Let's all work together to be able to create margin so we can make money so the merchant can make more money. Now, you can do placement deals or you can do purchase deals. And you can see it. We only said they had to be $10,000 a minimum volume. So someone could come in and say, hey, I'm just going to buy it. And so they have to be up and for the Mexico trip, you just got to get someone up and running on Cluster and processing on PayProTec. It doesn't matter on pricing. So I don't know why you'd go out and say, I'm going to sell it at interchange plus 1 basis point, but we would allow you to do that. Dumb business decision. Come talk to me later. We'll work with you. But the pricing is only for the placement deals. Let's talk about how you make money in this industry and if you're going to do something like that. But certainly that is a good question. So let me bring that. Let's see. I'm looking through any other questions. What does the install look like? So I'm in a kind of tag team between Stacy and Matt. We're continuing. This is what the fun is. We worked, as you talked about Stacy, when we get there in February, basically this will be 2 years in the US. At that point, it'll be 1 year fully rolled out with PayProTec. Let's talk about what that onboarding looks like now in the installation, and that is continuing to improve because as you do more and more installations, we get better at what we do, both on the PayProTec side and on the cluster side. But I'll let Stacy or Matt, who wants to jump in there first, to kind of talk about what installation looks like.
Matt, you good with that? Take this? Yeah. So
Yeah.
saying there's more
Go
than
ahead.
one way to skin a cat. What I've found is that PayProTec reps like to be hands-on. So basically, we ship the equipment. We're working with the customer. They have a dedicated menu specialist who will build the menu for them and then show them how to update things on their own so they can be self-sufficient. They have a dedicated trainer who spends a couple of hours with them on the front end and then on the back end to make sure that they understand how to use things. Although the system is certainly very intuitive, that's one of the main reasons why it's thrived since 2009. There will be obviously some questions here and there. A lot of you PayProTec reps who have already started offering the system have gotten pretty handy at showing a merchant how to do this and how to do that. I don't think you would be repeating sales if you felt this was a difficult system. And then so we ship the equipment; it's ready to go. We can do it a couple different ways. We can certainly work with our so everybody gets an installation technician dedicated at the day of install. They can work with you, the PayProTec, if you prefer to take that burden off the merchant. They can work directly with the merchant. I don't think that's a good idea. Merchants are busy as it is. People are calling off. They got food orders coming in. They're dealing with cleanup on aisle 6, whatever it is. So they've got their hands full. So second best option is we do have a network of technicians throughout the country that can serve just about any pocket of the U.S. They are not employed by Cluster. They're just simply a contracted individual that works at a local IT shop that's on the roster. When called upon, they just simply go out and they work with our install tech. We have another option where we can certainly send one of our own employees. It's a premium install option. I would really look at that if this customer is 5, 6, 7 terminals with a pretty complex setup, which we can absolutely accommodate, again, depending on the needs that are filtered through the POS pros. So there are a couple different ways you can go about it depending on the need. And I think speaking with the POS pros is a good first run filter of that.
Perfect. Anything to add there, Matt, that you would add?
No, I agree 100% with what Stacy said. You can obviously have, we just had one of our guys who has their own IT guy, their own IT tech, which is perfect. So he wanted to be able to have his own IT guy be able to work and set up and assist them in installing the cluster system. But the key to remember here is they have multiple people on the implementation side. So like Stacy said, they have someone that's going to help with the menu build. It's going to go through training and go through how to set up the buttons. They're going to have another person that's going to walk through the install. So, and really, we've tightened this up, and I think Stacy can agree with me on this, that over the last 6 months, we've really tightened up the time frame on installation. I feel like it used to be spread out a little more, and now we've really been able to consolidate that, which is what our merchants like. They want it to be kind of up and running a little quicker, but there are different options based on what they actually need and how well they need to be up and going right away. We want to make sure they're trained no matter what. We do not want them to rush into a system and then they're upset in a month because they didn't do the training or they're upset about something.
Yep.
So, but I agree.
All right. Next question. What are the monthly placement fees? I'll do this really quick. It's $99 for the first station, $169 for the second, and for all the stations above, it's just $199 a month. And what I love about that is, I'd say I should know this. I could easily run this and go look at our placement deals, but 80% of our placement deals are that $199, which is a great bargain. We're seeing multiple stations and they're seeing that $199 price and just loving it. And that also includes the QR coding and online ordering. No upsell on those right now. So speaking of that, the next question I'm going to throw over to Stacy because it was directly called out to you. Is online ordering in version 2 yet, Stacy? I know we've had some upgrades on online ordering coming. Where are we at with that? Obviously, this is Justin, who's done quite a few deals with us already on this.
Young man Kitchka, how are you? Good to somewhat meet you here. I saw your comment in the chat. So Justin's been running with Cluster probably about a year now, and really appreciate your continual involvement with us. I think that says a lot about it. Certainly, we've all gone through our bumps and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we care and we put our efforts in, and if something's not right, we fix it. So online ordering version 2 is completely up and running. As a matter of fact, all customers that board actually started boarding as of last month are on online ordering version 2. And just for all of you that know or that haven't heard this, we do include online ordering in our pricing and QR code ordering, whether it's quick service or whether it's at the table, which is a beautiful thing. So we have order at the table via that. We have order at the table via tablets, and we have pay at the table via QR or also on A920 devices. We got the gamut covered. But online ordering is included, and we have upgraded it we've updated some of the themes, the graphics, the colors, the experience, the ability to add suggested tips, the ability to do pay later. So we are not an online ordering company. We do a good job with it. And again, that's that filtering process of what does the customer need. In 80 to 95% of the cases, everything we do is exactly what they need. In the rare cases where they need a third party, then obviously POS pros can make some recommendations.
Perfect. And next question up, Jeremy, I'll kind of get this one started. Does the customer have the ability to pay for the on-site installer? We've kind of talked about this a little bit, but talk about a little more. This specifically, I know Jeremy, you and your team, what we're seeing is several of our partners is jumping in and using their own third parties and and choosing how their merchant is going to be paying for it. But of our deals so far, 95% of our deals have a person showing up and doing those. Stacy and Matt, I don't know the exact number, but of those so far, I mean, it's almost everyone have someone showing up on site and facilitating, making sure everything is hooked up properly for the launch day. Correct?
Yeah,
correct.
Yep.
That's
so,
pretty high.
And well, I think my best suggestion on that is use the partners, POS pros, but also for a team like Jeremy, I think your team can handle that. You're already doing that. If you're already basically running and setting up Clovers and other systems, setting up clusters is going to be just as easy, and you'll be working with their online team to be able to make sure all the systems are up and running. And they do a really good job of a 2-tier system. You get it, do a soft install, make sure everything's working on the station, everything's downloaded, the menus and everything works well. Then you do the full start and the go live, and that works really well. And we're seeing our launch dates. Let me bring up this question because this kind of ties into that. From application approval and how long before shipped out, Laurel Ann asks, that varies because so much of that is on the partner and the merchant responding to the cluster team. It's on the merchant. I mean, this can happen. I don't know the fastest, but I mean, it can happen in 5 days for ship out if you really want it. Probably. I may be speaking a little too fast on that, but probably. But a lot.
It's not unrealistic.
But.
Yeah,
But I most of the time, because I'm copied on all these emails and I'm watching it, a lot of times it's time after time, call, email to the merchant trying to get them to respond. It's
They
really
don't do the welcome form. Yeah.
So Matt, you want to jump in on that?
No, I was just saying, or they were waiting for them to fill out the welcome form. I mean, little simple things where, and we talk about these on demos, that it really falls on them. It falls on the owner and the partner to be able to assist with the speed of expediting everything. And if the owner doesn't talk to the cluster, they don't talk to anyone for days at a time, they don't fill out the welcome form, there's no way they're getting set up in 2-3 weeks because they're just dragging their feet. So that's something you can help us stress to them, because my team's already discussing it, about expediting the time frame and what their realistic time frame is. We can absolutely work on hitting that goal, but we need help on both sides. So.
Perfect. All right. Next question up. Jeremy asked, does Cluster have coursing feature? Stacy, I'll throw that over to you.
Absolutely. We actually have some pretty solid ones. When I learned what the system's capacity was as we made the move into the States a couple of years ago, I was pretty impressed.
Awesome. There we go. You want to describe what coursing is for those who don't know? I always make sure everybody's on the phrase for coursing.
Yeah, basically it's just whether you want to put the whole menu, you want to order all of the appetizer, the main dish, the dessert, the drinks, all in one shot on the screen, and then time them to go out. The appetizers go now. The main menu, the entrees go out in 3 minutes. You can say fire in 3 minutes automatically, and then be done with it. So it's just basically timing the menu as you build it.
Yep, perfect. All right. So I see a couple questions in there, so I'm going to kind of group my own, bring them up, but asking about pay at the table, order at the table. That's always something that's important. Cluster is very capable of doing both, pay at the order at the table. Currently, Stacy, can you kind of walk us through how pay at the table and order at the table is done through Cluster here in the U.S.?
Yeah, we struggled a lot with how to go about this. And on the one end of things, it would be nice to have one device that you can order and take a payment on. The challenge is on the other side that in order to make it an ergonomically friendly device that you can hold and carry, the screen on those devices are very small. So what we've done is we've come up with, you can certainly do ordering on a tablet, whether it's a Microsoft Surface or whether it's an iPad or an Android. You can take the order that way. It's the same user interface as the POS screen, so there's no separate user interface to learn. And then you can take the payment on our Pay at the Table app on an A920 Pro. The way that I would do it and the way that the world is going, forget all this equipment, the QR code ordering at the table. That is a very underutilized piece that you will see continue to grow, where the customer has the power to go to a lot of airports, and that's the only way they do it. Now, I'm not saying that's going to completely take over, but the trend is growing. It's not going anywhere. So we fully have QR code ordering and pay at the table, where the customer can simply scan it, make their order. The server's there to help them wherever they need to, and everything can be done through that full experience, all through that application. We are looking at a device. We're looking at a Deja Vu line where we can potentially have a big enough screen that still works with EPX for order and pay at the table on the same device. That's not going to be anytime soon, but when you look at, again, the first two options, it doesn't become an issue. You have a few options to empower the merchant with. And look, if they absolutely 100% want one device where they do the ordering and pay at the table, they're sacrificing typically that experience on that 5.5-inch screen. And I realize there are some that are a little larger. It's just not the optimal experience for servers to punch in. So that's our take on it.
There you go. All right. Continuing through our questions, we'll do just a couple more here. I do not know. I know this is Hunter. Hunter, you are that guy. I don't know what this actually relates to, so if you want to bring back into the chat, I am assuming if you were asking about QR code and online ordering being included in the license fee, if that is 100% included in the licensing fee. It's not an add-on and different there. Then scrolling down here, Jeremy asked another question, does it have the ability to include third-party delivery apps or personalized app companies like Hazelnut or Aptalova? Stacy, I'll throw over to you on that one.
Sure. Yeah, so we getting an integration directly to the Uber Eats and the DoorDashes all are a major undertaking, not to mention you're still in a position where when you offer those, the merchant still needs to have separate tablets for them. So we use an aggregator that effectively, when the merchant gets on to DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever it is, and they place their order, it comes in through a party called DeliverRec that brings it into our system, and then it speaks to the kitchen display or the kitchen printer as it normally would. So the answer is yes. We believe the most efficient way to do it is through an aggregator like a DeliverRec, and we do have that.
Perfect. All right. And I think, let me bring all of us back up there on our screen. Any closing remarks? And I think that gives us through our comments. Obviously, you can email us at partners@PayProTec.com if you have specific questions or general questions about PayProTec or general questions about POS. If you have a question specifically about Cluster, if you email cluster@PayProTec.com, it gets to multiple of us and we can make sure you get that answer, and we can connect with Cluster on that, and we're here to help anyway. I'm going to ask Danny Shard, he doesn't know this yet, to close us out as we close this set time. Remind us again, this is really, we did a questions about Cluster a little bit, and we'll continue to do that. But remind us again, we're here about being able to get 8, 10, 12, 14 deals to let's get into this Mexico trip, not have to pay anything, get all inclusive. Let's have an incredible time in February. Remind us and challenge us and remember our partners and why they should be doing this.
14 deals to go to Mexico. You know, like Stacy said, it's modest, and I think that's a really nice way of putting it, right? I know everybody on this call can achieve that and much more. And I know you're probably going to, so we're probably going to have to bump the room bundle up a little bit. And if going to Mexico in February and hitting some big sales numbers and making money just isn't your thing, but you still want to close some deals and be a part of PayProTec, that's all great too. We're going to be in Chicago. I'll buy you a hot dog, and we can have a good time there. But if you really want to step it up and get out to Mexico, 14 deals seems like a no-brainer. I think that should be the minimum for everybody, because I know all of you want to bring a guest or bring a rep or a teammate or something like that. So I'm just excited to see all of you and for you to be a part of this group. And I think we're going to have a heck of a time here over the next 6-8 months to do it.
I have a challenge real quick to close. Is that okay?
Let's go. Go for it, Stacy Carrillo.
I say that if we break the number that I have in my mind, and I can't tell you what it is yet, that Danny Shard has to stay in a motel in Tijuana, and we have to get pictures of the experience.
You act like I've never done that before.
I think there's no better way to end on that. On behalf of myself, Danny Shard, Stacy Carrillo, Matt Proctor, the Cluster POS team, and the PayProTec team, working together with our wonderful partners across the United States to make sure that we're helping restaurants and that you're getting to Mexico. I'm so glad you guys joined us, or you're watching this afterwards. Remember, just go out and sell. We're so thankful. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Rock on.
Go sell. Bye, everybody.
He is.
Under starlit skies, everything's alright. Here's to the moments that make us whole. This ain't just a trip, it's good for